I'd like to call to order Wyoming Valley West School District regular monthly meeting of March the 8th, 2023. Roll call, please.
Mr. Pazinski,
Here.
Mr. Damascus,
Here.
Mr. Hardwick,
Here.
Mr. Keating,
Here.
Mr. Usavage, Mr. Perfetto,
Here.
Mr. Majer, Mrs. Cassatt, here, Mr. Kamis.
Present. A moment of silence followed by the salute to the flag, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to announce there was an executive session held prior to this meeting to discuss multiple contracts. Student representatives, Mr. McLaughlin and Mr. Brock.
Good evening. Isaac Bolin, Abigail Frazier, Danielle Green, and George Hebda were selected by faculty as seniors of the month for the month of February. The students will be honored at a breakfast with a faculty guest of their choosing. They will receive a certificate from administration, and their photograph will be featured in the local newspapers and on the high school webpage. Congratulations, seniors. Congratulations to Mr. Kolajczyk and the band. 18 students were represented at the PMEA District 9 Band Festival. 13 of these students will be moving on to regionals, and 7 earned the place of first chair. During the week of February, the high school held a dress sale in the library for all high school students. There were about 400 dresses available for students to shop from. They were $10 each, and there was a wide range of styles and sizes. The sale was a total success with $1,200 raised and too many smiles made to count. The students were so excited and appreciative to participate in this event. The best part was how kind they were to each other as they tried the dresses on. They left the library feeling good and excited with their purchases. The money that was raised was split up to benefit different student activities in the high school. We hope to be able to make this a yearly event. Thank you to Ms. Yurko, Mrs. Carey, Mrs. Fellerman, and Ms. Kane for making this event a success. 19 Wyoming Valley West students represented Region 4 Chorus. 3 students will be moving on to PMEA All-State Chorus. They are Alto 1, Chloe Orfanella, Bass 1, John McLaughlin, and Bass 2, Jake Navraki. Also, shout out to Alto 2, Nevaeh Meininger, Tenor 1, Jade McKenna, and Tenor 2, Damon Iraqi, who were selected as alternates for the All-State Festival. Also, on January 26th and 27th, Wyoming Valley West sent members of the orchestra to district orchestra, with many advancing to regions. Shout out to Sarah Park for earning the spot of concertmaster. Congratulations to all. The Student Council sponsored a Red Cross blood drive at the high school on March 1st. Depending on the number of units collected, Wyoming Valley West may have earned a scholarship to give to a deserving student. The high school PBIS team launched a new Instagram page called the Spartan Rumble. The page is dedicated to highlighting all the positive things that are happening in our school community, both big and small. Feel free to go and follow the page at _Spartan_Rumble. Some positive stories are already posted. A Spartan photo background for high school students to pose at during lunches was created by Javon Gamble, Miss Finnegan, and Mr. Hedis to keep the positive momentum going. Congratulations to Wyoming Valley West boys and girls swim team for winning 6 medals at districts this past weekend. Congratulations to Isabella Sipe for finishing in 2nd place at the girls Northeast regionals and advancing to states. Congratulations to Dorian Hoffman on his 100th career victory for breaking the school record with 41 career wins in a season. Dorian will be competing at the state tournament as well. Also, congratulations to the girls basketball team for winning the District 2 title. The girls will compete Friday night at 7 p.m. at the gym, weather permitting.
Congratulations to the following students for earning awards at the Pennsylvania Junior Academy of Science in the mathematics category. Emily Bolin, first award and a perfect score and an overall individual excellence award. Ariel Chu, second award. Rebecca Biala, first award. Madeline Yvonne, first award. Jade McKenna, first award with a perfect score and a 3-year perseverance award. Zach Konopke, 2 first awards and a 5-year perseverance award. The SATs will be held at the high school on Saturday, March 11th, once again, weather permitting. The National French exam will be held on Tuesday, March 23rd. A Spartan Spirit Week sponsored by the high school PBIS team will be held next week at the high school. The themes are Monday, March 13th, Mismatch Monday. Tuesday, March 14th, Color Wars Day. Students will wear a color to represent their grade. 9th grade yellow, 10th grade green, 11th grade blue, and 12th grade red. Wednesday, March 15th is Decades Day. Students decide their decade. Thursday, March 16th is Sports/Jersey Day. We will also be fundraising for the Special Olympics and hosting a rain rally with the goal of raising $2,000. Friday, March 17th will be a Spartan Spirit Day. A faculty student dodgeball tournament will end the week. PBIS will be awarding multiple prizes, including a 50-inch flat screen TV to promote school spirit and school community engagement. Thank you to the PBIS team, Ms. Finnegan, Mr. Hedis, and Ms. Rodway for making the Spirit Week possible. Wednesday, March 22nd is a club day. Friday, March 24th is an Act 80 day. Wyoming Valley West High School and Middle School Student Councils will be hosting the region's G and H Pennsylvania Association of Student Councils Annual Leadership Conference at Wyoming Valley West High School. This is a first in Valley West history. The last time a regional conference was held was over 70 years ago at 40 Fort High School. Students from 32 schools and 17 counties will be attending the event. The event features roundtable discussions, student-led workshops, keynote speakers, student performances, raffles, naming of the Advisor of the Year, and the monthly meeting of the PASC. The high school presents Footloose, the musical, in the high school auditorium. This will take place on March 30th, 31st, and April 1st. Showtime is 7 each evening, and tickets are $10 each, and this goes for all ages, and are available at the door. We hope to see you there. And that is all for our high school updates.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very
You're
much.
busy.
Superintendent's comments. Mr. Tosh, please.
Thank you, Mr. Camus. They did leave me one announcement for the high school. The high school is pleased to announce that Madison Chaco, Murphy Pick, and Maxwell Saporito have been named to the Citizens Voice Scholastic Superstars class of 2023. They are part of a 25-member class chosen by a panel of 5 judges from nominations submitted by the school districts in the Citizens Voice coverage area. Maddie, Murphy, and Max will receive a medal during a ceremony at the FM Kirby Center on April the 18th. They'll also be featured in the Citizens Voice after the ceremony. Congratulations to Maddie, Murphy, and Max. And I'd like to now turn it over to Mr. Camus, who has a special announcement.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Tosh. So last week we had a request by the Westside Mutual Aid for the fire safety house. In less than 2 days, the Wyoming Valley West School District raised $15,000. So far, so from Third Ave Elementary, we received $1,000. Chester Street, we received $1,000. Dana Street, $2,500. State Street Elementary was $2,500. Wyoming Valley West High School Student Council donated $1,000. Wyoming Valley West Middle School Student Council donated $1,000. The Office of the Superintendent donated $1,000, and Aramark Food Services donated $5,000. I would just like to say thank you to each and every one of you. I mean, this is very important to this district. I think it's great for the kids. Anybody else?
Rick, I think it's wonderful news also, and I think we should ask the West Side Mutual Aid Association to commemorate in some way on the house, these groups that made these generous donations and made this happen, show the schools our gratitude for what the school did.
I agree. 100%. Mr. Tosh, would you try to reach out to them? And yep. Does anybody else have anything on that?
Well, thank you. Good job.
Mr. Tosh, are you done for this?
Yep, that's good. Thank you.
Statements from interested citizens. I really can't read the first name. It looks like Pete from Kingston. I really can't read your writing, sir. I apologize.
Yeah, how you doing? My name is Peter Menino. I live in Kingston on Elms Avenue. And I'm here today because my daughter attended State Street State Elementary School, and it's so far behind, it's ridiculous. And I feel we have to do something about it because 76% of these kids, when they leave, they're unprepared. And I think that's horrible. Like you're talking about all these children doing so great. But what happens to these 76% of these children? They fall behind. They go to crime. They get bullied. They can't follow with their peers. They commit suicide, all because they were left behind and not cared about. I own a company called Children's Life, which I'm reinstating, where I help children wherever I can and whatever I can do for them. I did so many great things in my life. I've been a broker for 42 years. I dealt with the ruler of Dubai. I put up a light on 76th Street in Broadway in Elmhurst, where nobody could put up a light in 64 years, not even the borough president of my neighborhood of Queens. My son said, "Oh, my daddy put up a light. My daddy put up a light." They was, he was so happy. So the borough president found out about it. And he thought my son was blowing steam from where. And he said, "How did you do this when I can put it up in 20 years? I said, "Because I don't stop." And besides that, I was getting the key to the city. And I turned it down because I don't have to be glorified to save lives, to save children, especially when I seen a baby die in pink when a guy ran a stop sign on 76th Street in Elmhurst and killed the mother. The baby flew up in the air, cracked its head open at 6 months old and was shaken to death in blood. I had to do something about it. So I left my company and I did something about it. And I got in touch with Habib. I got in touch then with John Johnson, who I didn't thank for helping me, got in touch with the Commissioner of Motor Vehicles, and then I got in touch with Chuck Scarborough. And Chuck Scarborough said to me, "You need 2,000 accidents on one corner to put up a light." I said, "Are you joking? It costs $100,000 to put up 2 lights. We're talking about trillions of dollars being lost." And he said, "Yeah, well, you got to get a court order." So I went to the Commissioner of Motor Vehicles, sent him a letter. He said, "Oh, you write a beautiful letter." I said, "Thank you. Are you going to help me put up the light?" He said, "No." I said, "I'll be a great Samaritan. I'll quit my job. I'll work for you for free. I'll let everybody know, in the state that we're working together and we're doing something." And he said, "So what are you going to do?" "I'm going to bring every kid that dies and gets maimed in person to your breakfast table." He said, "You want to kill me legally?" I said, "I want your brains to melt out of your ears. Do you hear me?" He says, "I'm in. Maybe you're not a borough president, but you're a guy that does action." In 18 months, we put up the first light, and now only 6 people die in a corner instead of 1,200. So I think I did a good job. And can you imagine in 42 years how many lights went up? Over 100,000, just because of me. Because I did something about it. If we all do something about it with the children that go in with their beautiful minds and have dreams and then they're squashed because we just let them go through. That is horrible. That's our backbone. That's our future of the children of America. These kids could be engineers. They could be doctors. They could be lawyers. They could be astronauts, but they never got the chance. And what about the kids who are dyslexics? They're totally lost. And I'm here to do something about it, because that's the way I am. And my company is a children's life because I care about children. Now, I feel all of us, you know, it's great to have all these kids, medals, this and that. You know, what about that 76%? What are we doing about it? Well, I also thought, I said to myself, why don't we do this? Take the kids in the upper grades to help the kids in the lower grades, tutor them, give them medals, give them trophies, you know, give them an initiative to do it. And I feel that will save the, you know, the government, city and state money too. And also have little groups where the kids are smarter than the other kids to help them out, tutor them too. Well, we have to take a look at it with our principal of this school. And I'm not blaming him, but the kids are just going through 76%. And that's our backbone for our future. We can't rely on 24%. We got to rely on 100%. Am I right?
Yes.
So I feel we all should take a look at this school and break it up and find out what's going wrong to start the cancer, to stop the cancer now. Not tomorrow, not next year, now. I pulled my daughter out of school and she's doing fabulous. And another thing I would like to present is that children that are 4.5 years old should start kindergarten, not wait till they're 5.5. I think that's ridiculous to make them lose that time. My daughter's 3.5, and she could read and write at 3.5, almost 4. She could do some of my daughter's homework that is 7 years old. Why? Because we teach them the right way. And that's what I want to do with that 76%. I want to teach them the right way, because they're our backbone to our future, believe it or not.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Tosh.
So what do you feel what I am saying, stated?
Mr. Tosh.
In terms of what you're talking about, there are a lot of programs right now that this district are running to try and raise the scores and to try and increase the academics. One of them at Dana Street Elementary School, they have a breakfast club for the children who are struggling. They get their tutoring in the morning. In addition, we run the last 2 years and this year we'll run a summer school program for any child who's academically struggling. We run after tutoring in all our buildings for any of the children that are struggling. I know Mrs. Troy with the title has the, similar to what you referenced, has the high school students coming down and reading to the State Street Elementary School, the younger children. And our title program, we're revising that so that we get more of our teachers in the classroom to assist other teachers. But it is certainly a challenge.
Can I ask you a question?
And you're bring out a lot of good points.
Could I ask you a question? Why are we under 15%? Last year, this year, we're still going nowhere.
Well, listen, and I'm not making an excuse with it, but COVID certainly had an
I'm not
impact
disagreeing you.
on learning with children. I mean, to take a whole year off, it's been a challenge, and to try to get them back to grade level in a school district with as many kids as we have, it's certainly a challenge, but I can tell you, our teachers are working extremely hard. They're putting a lot of time in. They're putting time in before school, as I referenced. They're putting time in after school. They're doing the best they can to catch up.
Okay, well, my principal of that school wrote me a letter stating, if you don't like the way your kids are being taught, take them to another school if you feel we're not smart enough. I think that is ridiculous. Then I sent him 2 letters They didn't return my letters. I just feel the facilities, the school, the structure is phenomenal. But I feel there's a lack of education there, no matter what you state. Because I brought my daughter into the school. She learned nothing.
Well, all I can tell you is if you want to stop over my office tomorrow, I'll be glad to sit and talk with you, where obviously we have more time. But I can tell you with 100% certainty, our teachers are working very,
I agree.
very,
I totally
very
agree.
hard.
And matter of fact, they want me here today to speak. Because I'm a person that gets things done. I worked with Donald Trump. I worked with the ruler of Dubai. You know, I've been around in my years.
Well, like I said, I would welcome you if you want to come over to my office where we could sit down and some of your concerns, we could sit down and discuss them further. But I'm comfortable and I'm confident that the teachers that we have are working extremely hard. Our administrators are working hard, and some of the obstacles that we have, we're working on to try and come up with creative solutions to try and raise the scores.
Yeah, I totally agree. The
Sir.
teachers are working hard.
Excuse me, sir.
But-
If you could set up an appointment with Mr. Tosh, and I think he can answer a lot more of your concerns on a one-on-one basis.
You have to target it and follow it.
And that's what we're doing. And that's what, like I said, I'd be more than happy. If you want to come over, we'll sit down. I'll buy the coffee. We'll sit down, whatever concerns you have, let's get
And I
them
would
out.
love to see what happens when the next quarter and the next quarter and the next quarter. You know what I'm saying? To see
Sir, again,
that we get progress.
could you please set up an appointment with Mr. Tosh and he
Yeah,
could
no
help you
problem.
with your concerns?
Just give me a call tomorrow.
I don't have your phone number.
As soon as the meeting's over, I'll get together with
No
you. I'll get
problem.
a number.
I feel I was not out of place.
No,
And I feel that.
Absolutely not.
All right, God bless and everybody be well.
Thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
comments. Ms. Kate Krifka.
Hi, my name is Kate Pokrifka and I live in 44. I'll be quick, just three things tonight. One, I'm wondering if there's any chance to get video surveillance on the buses. I've been hearing stories of vandalizing on the buses, fighting on the buses, and cursing out the windows of the buses. And that's on the elementary school level. I can only imagine what goes on transporting the kids to the middle school and high school. So that's one. The second is I watched the work session and I just want to thank the board for the transparency in reporting the number of incidents and arrests at the middle school and high school. I'm a firm believer that the first step in solving a problem is just identifying it, acknowledging it, and going from there. And I appreciate that you made this information public and I hope it continues. So thank you for that. And finally, it sounds so promising and hopeful that the district has plans to visit the Alternative Education Center in Scranton to get ideas for planning the district's own ALC. I'm wondering if you could share any details about that tonight. And even if not, I just want to thank you for listening to the concerns of worried parents and directing so much of your energy and time to coming up with a solution. So just a really heartfelt thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Krifka, so I'd like to touch base a little bit on what has happened in this meeting so far. So our legislators got together. They're really trying to help us get funding to start this program. We're having another meeting again this Friday. With all our legislators, our SROs, our administration, and some of the board members here this evening. To try to see if we can get it to the next step, actually secure a property and actually start building the program. I believe at this time, Mr. Tosh, we applied for our license.
no, not as of yet.
So we're in the process of applying for our license. Our legislators brought in one of the solicitors from the School Board Association or the PSEA. So to help us with that. So we're moving forward slowly, but we're working very hard and very diligently on it. And the cameras were addressed at one point. As I think you know, the school bus contract got passed very fast in its last renewal, and it was never able to be negotiated. We are working to try to seek grants to try to buy cameras because our busing contractor does not want to pay for it. So the district has to pay for it, and it gets a little expensive. And we looked into that. Mr. Dickon looked into that. We're just looking for some money for that. Thank you. James B.
How are you? James Baldwin, West Wyoming. First off, I just want to share the same stuff that Kate said about the district taking the violence seriously. We do all appreciate that. And I appreciate you kind of give us an update on, what's happening with that. Obviously, the violence is concerning for everyone. The alternative learning center thing, is that, I mean, I don't know if you could give many more details about it, but would it be for kids that were disruptive in all grades that they would potentially go to that? I don't really know a lot about alternative learning centers. So would that be we mentioned a separate building. So would that be, children that are continuing to have issues would end up in those, like being sent to that building?
Why don't you finish and then I'll re-engage.
Okay, I appreciate it. The only other thing I just wanted to make a comment about was tonight on the sign-in sheet, I noticed, for people that were speaking, you had listed on there for people to list the topic that they wanted to speak about. Now, I wasn't sure why that was listed on there. Because at the last meeting, it wasn't there, but I noticed it was there tonight. I don't know if it was an error, but
It might have been an error.
okay.
It
Okay.
was an error, actually.
Okay, because I think you understand that we're not supposed to have that listed on there.
Yeah, moving forward, we'll just have the name and the town of residence.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
And it was like that last one. And I can't really answer for all the age groups, Mr. Tosh and Mr.
Usually
Monet.
looking at 6 to 12.
6 to 12 will go in that program. I'm learning too. I learned a lot last meeting and Mari is teaching me a lot as we go. So
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you. Beth? M? Good? Committee, let's see, approve the minutes, from February 8th, 2023.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports, Mr. Dabascus, anything this evening?
These guys covered all the athletic stuff, but just to comment on technology and communications, we are working on, as we talked about, the esports getting dollars and hopefully getting that in the budget for next year. Just some conversations we had today about, the importance of cybersecurity in our district and understanding that that's another expense. We have to protect our property, so to speak, which is, our personal information. So for whatever reason, there are people that want to steal that stuff. So that is another thing that our IT and Anthony have been working very hard on making sure all of our stuff, all the stuff we want to make public, we got to make sure that we put the right firewalls and safety and security so that we're not able to get to other parts of our secure financial information. So Anthony, thanks for all that work you do on that. It's a huge help, obviously. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Dabascus. Mr. Keating, do you have anything this evening?
Just a few things. Again, we're in the process of negotiating with our support staff. I believe that's next Wednesday. I did happen to see today that the governor's proposed budget. Now, again, that's still in the wishful thinking stages, but if it were to go through, Wyoming Valley West is set to get $3,662,000 additional next year, 23-24 in state funding, if that were to actually be seen in fruition, which would be a wonderful thing. And I was looking at the finance reports that Tom provided us with tonight. And Tom, not to put you on the spot, but I see you have the overall expenses at 49,319,161, 58.74%. We should be roughly about 67% right now. Do you take that as a good sign with where we're trending at this point?
Yeah, I think we're trending on track for both revenue and expenditures. There's been nothing majorly out of the ordinary or unexpected this year, other than the Third Avenue incident, but most of that should be covered by insurance, so
Correct.
I think we're on track.
Just wanted to point those things out, Mr. Camus. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Keating, and Mr. Whittiak, thank you for these reports that you are doing. They're really helpful. At least they help. Mr. Hardwick, do you have anything this evening?
Having given reports at the work session, I don't want to tie it up, but I did want to share one thing. I think everybody remembers I get to sit on the Hoyt Library Board because of being on this board. And the Hoyt Library is doing a fundraiser where and the school district reached out to assist the library. So from the executive director there, Melissa Werner, she reported that combined pennies from Dana Street, State Street, Third Ave, and the central office, 71,194 pennies have been collected. So if my math is correct, that's $711.94, and there's more piggy banks and items to be picked up. So from the board and the Hoyt Library and Melissa Werner, thank you very much to the district and the kids and the administration and the teachers for participating in the fundraiser. I guess it just goes to show that a penny still counts today. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Hardwick. Mr. Dickon, do you have anything this evening for the safety committee? Brian, the God you do?
Just a couple of things to review. Last week I mentioned the new metal detectors were going to be shipped. They are shipped. They'll be here tomorrow for the high school. Unfortunately, the ones for the middle school are still on delayed back order, but we should get them in April. Also, we got up and running in all buildings. We had to update the software for Pennsylvania new IDs, but now when you come to visit our buildings, you will be scanned with your ID through our Raptor system, which will do a check, and then that'll start keeping our logs for us electronically. So that's also instituted this week. That's it.
Great news, and they're coming. Thank you, Anthony, very much. Buildings and grounds, I just have one question. And not to put you on the spot, Mr. Whittiak, but Mr. Guevara sent me an email asking to buy a tractor.
Mhm.
Now, could you just explain this process? Is that a line item in his budget?
It was budgeted, yes.
So it's a specific line item? So I didn't see that.
I can't say it's a specific line item, but it was a component of his budget. It may have had other specific items meshed into that subtotal.
Now, why would that need board approval?
It doesn't need board approval. He just wanted to notify you.
Okay, okay.
So it was something that was, I guess, discussed a year ago. And he just needed to make a big purchase. And I think someone on the board had suggested that just notifying you of.
Yeah,
you
okay.
know,
All right. I just wanted to clarify. Mr. Hardwick and I had a conversation about it, and we just weren't certain.
If you don't want to know, I mean.
Well, no, I think it's fine. It's just, it was just struck me a little off guard.
Yeah, it was just notification.
Okay, thank you.
I would add, kind of the way it was presented almost made it sound like it required board approval. So I asked Rick and said, well, if this is in his budget, then the budget's been approved. Therefore, the acquisition's already been approved. Do we
Yeah.
really need to go through another approval?
I think Frank's idea was if he bought something like that and it was seen cutting the fields or being used however, and someone said it to you, you guys could be caught off guard too. So it was just so everyone's in the loop and they know that we're buying a relatively large piece of equipment.
Okay,
I think for informational purposes, that's great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have nothing else. General recommended action items, 1 through 6. We have on the, should we be tabling 4 and 5? Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
If it needs to be formalized, I'll make a motion that we table item 4 and 5 from the general recommendations.
We have a motion by Mr. Hardwick on the floor
Second.
and a second by Mrs. Cassatt. Any other questions on items 1, 2, 3, and 6? Nope. May I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Pazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Damascus?
Yes.
Mr. Hardwick?
Yes.
Mr. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Perfetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Cassatt?
Yes.
Mr. Camus?
Yes. That's, yeah, I'm just asking. Like, I don't have to do a roll call to table. This, do I? Okay. That's all right. Staff recommended action items, the items 1 through 18. Any questions on any of those? Have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Krasinski, second by Mr. Keating. Roll call, please.
Mr. Pazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Damascus?
Yes.
Mr. Hardwick?
Yes.
Mr. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Perfetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Cassatt?
Yes.
Mr. Camus?
Yes. Number 11, finance recommended action, bills for payment. And finance manager's report. And the treasurer's report. Have a motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Who made the second?
Mr. Pazinski.
My Mr. Dabaskin, second by Mr. Krasinski. On the question? Roll call, please.
Mr. Pazinski?
Yes.
Mr. Damascus?
Yes.
Mr. Hardwick?
Yes.
Mr. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Perfetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Cassatt?
Yes.
Mr. Camus?
Yes. Board member comments, we'll go around the table. Mr. Perfetto, do you have anything this evening?
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Brzezinski,
Nothing at this time.
Mr. Keating?
Yes, Rick, I would just like to, again, thank all of the various student groups that donated to the West Side Mutual Aid Association. That I think speaks volumes of the school, the character of the students. Also, as Bill mentioned, same goes for the donations to the Hoyt Library. And just want to wish the girls the best of luck this coming Friday. Wonderful accomplishment so far.
I'd like to second that with the wish the girls the best of luck for Friday.
Yes. Best of luck.
Absolutely. Mrs. Cassatt, do you have-
Read Across America Day. I was invited by Dana Street or Zekas and her staff, Maylon. Not her staff, but partner in the RAA. And it was a wonderful, wonderful job you guys did. Fantastic. The class I read to, one of the best classes I ever read to, Mrs. Ritz's first grade class. So they were fantastic. So, and I know there was a lot of special readers all across the district, but it was very nice to be invited. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hardwick.
I think everybody else said it well.
Mr. Damascus.
Just, we forgot about our 2 wrestlers we have down in Hershey. We have 2 wrestlers that are still alive in the tournament down there. So good luck to those. And I was able to go up to State Street. I saw a lot of pictures of all the people for the Read Across America. I'm gonna disagree with the one gent. I like to hear the good stories about our kids. I realize we have some issues, but it's good to hear the good stories. I wish they would make the paper more often, but I know they won't. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Damascus. Mr. Tosh, do you have anything to finish up this
I
evening?
just have one, Mr. Camus. Under staff recommended action number 4 was accepted resignation due to retirement of Denise Lashevsky, State Street lead cleaning lady, last day, May 19th. I just wanted to add a comment with that. Denise Lashevsky's been the head cleaning lady and worked over at State Street for 32 years. And there are certain people that I've always said in the district that are unsung heroes, but to be a cleaning lady and to work in a district for 32 years, I think her dedication and her commitment speaks volumes. And I want to thank her, especially, as I said before, the cleaning personnel that came in during COVID. Extremely important time, but we wish Denise Lashevsky the best in her retirement and thank her for 32 years in the district.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Tosh. All I have this evening is, I would like to announce I'll be calling a special meeting Friday, March 17th at 10 a.m. The Valley West Middle School for the specific purpose of item number 5 under general recommended action items to award the bid for the guaranteed energy savings performance contract. Our solicitors just need a little bit more time to review these contracts, and that's why we tabled it this evening. All righty, may I have a motion to adjourn, please?
So moved.